We know.
Hooray!
Habitat, all of our community partners here for the Dalton Road Bill.
Hooray!
Fantastic way to start. Thank you to our marketing and communications team for putting together such a great video. My name is Ian Underwood. I'm going to ask everyone to go on mute. I'm the CEO of Habitat for Humanity Greater Toronto Area, and I'll also be your MC today. I love that the video that you just saw reflected both the strength of the Habitat community in making today possible, but most importantly, I love that it emphasized that we're here today to celebrate home, your home, to the 6 families who now live in the Dalton community. We have a number of speakers that are keen to congratulate you this morning, but I want to begin as we talk about home by acknowledging that the land on which the Dalton community now stands is the land originally used and occupied by the first people of the Williams Treaty First Nations, as well as other Indigenous peoples. I also want to acknowledge the Chippewa of Georgina Island as our close neighbor and friends. And we acknowledge this land and the people for whom it has been home for thousands of years, because that is a first step of reconciliation for us as Canadians in recognizing and honoring the existence of Indigenous people, as well as acknowledging and owning what we, I think, are now recognize is many horrific aspects of our historic relationship with Indigenous people. We broke ground, as you saw, at Dalton Road in spring of 2019, and what a time it's been since then. As we all know, we've had the site open, we've had the site closed, we've seen supporters from every corner of our region. We've had donors, volunteers, government partners, everyone band together to make this community a reality. And as I said, today is a celebration of the completed build and of this being home for you as families. So throughout, you're going to hear from lots and lots of people. We, of course, would have loved for this to occur in person, and we weren't sure where COVID would be right now. We're thrilled that the life is starting to return to normal, but we're also really thrilled that, you know, we can continue to use a tool like this, Zoom, to bring us together from our multiple locations to celebrate something so important as this. Just so everyone is aware, a smaller group of us will be on site at the Dalton community this evening to personally and ceremonially hand over the keys to each of our 6 families. And on that note, I want to introduce the 6 families, and hopefully we have all of you on the screen at the moment. What I'm going to do is name each of the families, and I would ask as I call your name, if each family can kind of give a wave, a shout out, a Yahoo, whatever you wish to do. There are no prizes for the loudest family and the most enthusiastic kids, but we'll notice you. So we'll start with Greer Atkinson and her family. And yes, unmute for that moment.
Ani and everybody. So my name is Greer Atkinson. I have two of my three. Unfortunately, my eldest had to work today in her summer job, which is great. So I have Phoebe Charles and Sinise Charles with me, and we'll be chatting a bit
We'll
later.
hear more from you later, Greer. Thank you so much. The Tinwalla family.
Hi. This is Murtaza.
Hi.
That's my wife Rashida.
Hi guys.
And then that's my my second daughter and my youngest son. And my eldest daughter couldn't join because she's out of town. She's traveling. But we're glad to be here.
Wonderful to have you. I'm also noticing some children are bigger than when we broke ground 2 years ago. The Bohra family. I'm not sure if we have the Bohra family on the phone yet. Mitchell, do you know?
Hi.
Yeah, they're here.
Hi. Sorry, I'm Vivek, and this is Abdeli Bohra. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. A short while ago, I saw my wife Zahra from school playground. She was there, but I don't see her. So I don't know where is she. But Hussein and Josefa are at work at the moment, so they were not able to join. I'm sorry about that. But thank you so much. You know, it's a beautiful home. We have been blessed, and we don't have like words enough to thank you. No, I mean, it cannot be just spoken to like what you have given us. We are very humble, very, very happy, and so kind of you. It's a beautiful home without anything you have asked for, and we love to be there. And my neighbors, Murtaza is here, Zen is here, Greer is here, all beautiful neighbors along with. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for your remarks. The Abidine family. You've just spoken, I think, right?
The family is not yet logged in. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
The Mahaya family?
Hi, everybody. They gave me a set of 10 bowls.
Hello.
Hi. Can you hear us?
We can hear you. Yes, indeed.
Okay, we are the Abedin family. We are in Unit 4. We're really happy to be here, and we are happy in our new home.
Wonderful to see you. And the McKinley family. I saw them at one point.
Hi.
McKinley?
Hi there.
Hello. Hi.
Dad here. My wife Trisha. Our youngest guy Ezekiel. My daughter Hazel. And our oldest guy
Wonderful to see you again. And Mitchell, help me out. Have I missed anyone?
I think you covered everyone.
Okay, thank you so much. So, of course, we wish you all joy and good health and prosperity as you now finally begin this new chapter for Habitat Homeowners. Now, before I introduce our speakers, I want to acknowledge that we had a few generous donors and sponsors who were instrumental in particular to this Dalton build, and that includes the Whitmer Trudell Foundation, the estate of Bruno Nielsen, the Johnson family, the Torrey family, and the Bank of America. I also want to thank, and you're going to hear a long list of some of the sponsors who have been here, not just for this build, but for many of our other builds, and often for many years. So that includes our visionary sponsors, the Ed and Fran Clark family, the Daniels Corporation, the Hawkins family, TD Bank Group through their Ready Commitment, Great West Life Realty Advisors, Canada Life. Also our groundbreakers, the Building Industry and Land Development Association, Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, Duca Financial Services Credit Union, Manulife, Right at Home Realty, Sierra Excavating Enterprises, Delta Bingo Gaming. We have a builder group, which includes Amvec Building Systems, Benefit Cosmetics, Enbridge Gas, which is Habitat Canada's energy efficiency program sponsor, the Home Depot through their Orange Door project, Meridian Brick, RioCan REIT, Rogers, And then of course, our government partners, the Town of Georgina, the Region of York, and the Government of Canada, including the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. So enough of me, let's get started with our speakers. And Habitat is a volunteer-led, volunteer-fueled organization. Those of us on staff report through me to our volunteer board. And I'm really pleased today that we have Val Shuttleworth to speak and provide remarks on behalf of the board. Val lives in another part of our service area in Pickering in the region of Durham, but for many years was the chief planner in York region, and so has a special attachment to the importance of this build here. Val, over to you.
Thank you, Ian. And I'm very proud and honored to be here today to speak on behalf of our volunteer board of directors. I've been a volunteer with the Habitat board for over 3 years now, and as Ian noted, I'm a retired urban planner, and I spent much of my whole career in the public sector, much of it working hard on affordable housing and trying to achieve affordable housing. So Habitat in my retirement is a great fit. And I'm very proud again to speak to you on behalf of our board of directors. So first of all, on behalf of the board, I'd like to echo Ian's warm welcome to everyone in attendance, and also to thank you so much for your commitment to making the Dalton Road project possible. A couple of years ago, and actually it might be closer to 3 years ago, I had the absolute pleasure, along with Mayor Quirk, of doing a family notification. And that family notification was to Greer and her beautiful children. Mayor Quirk and I visited Greer in her home and let her and her family know that they were approved to join the Habitat family. And I will actually never forget the looks on their faces and how happy they were. It's an experience that has stayed with me. It's a highlight of my time with Habitat so far, and it makes today even more special for me. So I'm happy to see you, Greer. Also seeing that beautiful footage that captured the Dalton Road project and the surrounding community is another strong reminder to why and probably why we all get involved in Habitat GTA. We're building more than just homes. We're building communities. They're communities which we're proud to call our own, and that make life changes for the inhabitants, and also make more stronger communities and inclusive communities in the GTA for all of us. It's really gratifying to also see how the strategic work of the board translates into this tangible impact. Attending events like these reinforces why we all contribute in the various ways that we do to this wonderful organization. To the 6 families that we're welcoming home today, we wish you all the best as you begin your new lives as Habitat homeowners and members of the Dalton Road community and the Habitat family. We're so happy to say that as of today, all the partner families are now Habitat homeowners, and this milestone was made possible with thanks to over 473 volunteers. To me, that's staggering. And those volunteers spent 3,410 hours building at Dalton Road. Also, thanks to the generous support from the local community who contributed through donations and in various ways. It's truly incredible what we can achieve when we all work together. Your support also creates a ripple effect that spans generations. Families, our Habitat families, live healthier lives. Children do better in school, and most go off to pursue post-secondary education. Families feel safe in those communities that they help to build. So congratulations to all our new Habitat homeowners. We know how hard you worked as well to get to this moment. So on behalf of the Habitat for Humanity GTA Board of Directors, welcome home. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Val. And as I said earlier, these projects also really rely on our relationships with government partners. We've really appreciated, particularly over the last few years, the strengthened partnership with the federal government through CMHC, which has been instrumental in this build. And really pleased to have with us today Adam Vaughan. You heard us chatting with him earlier. Adam is Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister responsible for CMHC. He's also a member of Parliament for Spadina, Fort York, and he is one of the most consistent, persistent, and persuasive voices around affordable housing for so many years. So Adam, over to you. We're really appreciative of having you here today and the support of your government.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be invited to such a beautiful ceremony. There's nothing better as a politician than watching people step into homes and step forward in their own lives in ways that are transformative. I'm speaking to you today from the traditional lens of many different nations, but the treaty is held by the Mississauga of the Credit, but Takaranto is the root word for Toronto, which is a Mohawk word. My riding Spadina, Fort York is an Ojibwe word, which is in the same language group as the Chippewa. And it just tells you that Toronto as a place on this planet and as part of Turtle Island and part of Canada is a gathering place. And we are gathered here today to do what for millennia, Indigenous peoples and all those who have arrived have gathered to do, which is to create a better way forward together, to share ceremony as we are with the key handover today, but also to make sure that we go forward in a good way together that protects the young ones as we take care of our older ones. And Habitat for Humanity has done extraordinary work, not just here in the GTA, but right across the country, in fact, right across North America, in delivering homes, but more importantly, delivering security and happiness to families, which I think are two remarkable things that we owe a debt of gratitude, not just to the organization, but to the 473 people on this site and the thousands of others that build homes for Canadians right across the country from coast to coast to coast, including the Chippewa of Nawash. I was up for a ceremony almost a year ago where 19 homes and a new generation of homes are being built on reserve in Indigenous held lands, which I think is also something which Habitat has embraced with a spirit of reconciliation that all of us are honored by. So thank you very much. It's easy to go through the metrics on this and to talk about what the government has delivered through budgets and promises. We have a $72 billion national housing strategy. We have a co-investment fund, which has partnered with block funding to Habitat for Humanity to deliver almost 400 units of housing over a 3-year period. And we hope to renew that and move forward with a very strong affordable home ownership program that is paying dividends to families, but to communities in every city across this country. This particular project, the donation is there. I wish we could have picked up a hammer too, but the dollars help because the lumber and materials have gone up quite a bit in the last couple of years. So our support for the program is going to need to intensify as the program multiplies. I just want to say a couple of things to the families. I don't often tell this story, but there's a reason why housing is so important to me as an elected representative. When I was younger and my parents were going through a divorce, our family, like many of your families, are new to Canada. We have no aunts and uncles in this country. The only relatives I have are my mom, my dad, and my 2 sisters. And as the marriage fell apart, I was left with my mom and my 2 sisters at a very young age. My mom got cancer. And the divorce went through and the house sort of was split up and my mom wasn't working. She'd been a stay-at-home mom, but now she was dealing with the fight of her life for cancer. And we lost the house. And it put us in a very, very, very precarious place. I can only tell you what a 14-year-old Adam would have said to you at the time. I remember the day vividly. But our neighbors got together and purchased the house for my mom. If they hadn't done that, I wouldn't be standing here today as an elected representative. I don't know where I'd be. It was the security delivered by community that gave us, our family, and my sisters in particular, but my mom as well, a life to live with the security, the friendship, the love, and the responsibility to make sure that we didn't have to rely on neighbors to get this done, that we could rely on a larger community and a larger movement of people delivering that safety and security. To the young kids, your parents have worked really hard to build this home for you. And we've helped them because we believe in them in the same way that they believe in you. And I just want to say that you now have a sacred responsibility like I do, which is to make sure that you build as beautiful a life for yourselves as you possibly can, that you take care of your parents and make sure they age as gracefully as they possibly can, but that when you get the opportunity, you give back. When you receive gifts like this, and when you receive honors like this, it just fills your heart with love. But there's no sense having that love if you're not going to share it. And so I really would ask you to think about what you're going to do next, because we've given you this opportunity, and we would just are just waiting in amazement to see what you give back as a result. It's the way you build a stronger community, because it's the way you build a stronger family. It's the way you build a stronger city, because it's the way you build stronger homes, and it's the way you build a stronger country ultimately. And we all have a responsibility to each other to make sure that that country is there for each of us in every single possible way. And I'm honored as a member of the government to thank Habitat for Humanity, to thank the families, to thank the children, but most importantly, to thank the parents whose sweat equity, whose commitment to care, and whose love for their community, their family, and themselves has paid off in such a remarkable way. I only wish we could be doing this for 10 other families today and 100 more tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adam. The local government, the town of Georgina, has also been a great partner, where you've heard reference to Mayor Margaret Quirk being part of the notification with Greer. Mayor Quirk and a number of members of her council, including local councillor Frank Sebo, were at our groundbreaking. Unfortunately, we scheduled today's event during their council meeting. So Mayor Quirk and Frank Sebo have recorded a message that the team will now play for you.
Hi, I'm Mayor Margaret Quirk. Thank you for including me in today's celebration. I'm sorry I can't be there in person. We do have our council meeting this morning, so Councillor Sebo and myself are attending that. And even on a virtual platform, it's really hard to be two places at the same time. But congratulations to Habitat. Congratulations to the 6 families that are moving into their new homes. It's wonderful to have Habitat do a larger build. I mean, over the years, we've done many single homes. This was the first townhouse complex that has been done, and hopefully not the last within the town. Home ownership is something that I know the 6 families have been looking forward to for some time. Certainly, I met some of the families at the groundbreaking a while ago now. The pandemic did slow things down a bit, but you're here, you're moving in, and that's great news for you and your families. I know it's exciting times to get settled into a new community, and I welcome you all with open arms to Georgina. I know at least one of the families is very familiar with Georgina, and certainly is looking forward to settling into to their new home. So congratulations to everyone involved. I know it took a lot of volunteers, a lot of coordination. Habitat is to be congratulated for this particular build, and certainly we hope to be working with them on other builds in the future. As I say, home ownership is something that many people are trying to attain, and providing this opportunity to these 6 families is wonderful. But we know there's many other families in our community and beyond that are looking for these opportunities as well. So congratulations on moving in and completing this project, and I look forward to meeting all of you in person very soon. Thank you. Stay well.
Hello, my name is Frank Sebo. I'm Ward 4 Councillor in the Town of Georgina, and I just wanted to quickly say congratulations to the Habitat Humanity team on another successful project completed, and congratulations to the new homeowners. Welcome to Sutton.
Thank you all. The next speaker also was not able to be here today, so you'll shortly be seeing a video recording, but the next name is a name that we think of as a politician, and that is John Tory, who in his professional life is mayor of the city of Toronto. But he and his wife, Barbara, have a long history here in Georgina as cottagers. And another former politician who knows him well, Donna Cansfield, a former member of provincial parliament, also is a neighbor here. And she had talked to us and to John Tory and his family and said, hey, wouldn't it be great if we find a way to get the group of us who are cottagers and new neighbors to be part of this. So Mayor Tory, John Tory, and his wife hosted an event at their cottage a couple of years ago, raised over $130,000 in support of this build. I know we have a couple of folks that were part of making those donations on the phone today. And we are very pleased that Mayor Tory has recorded a video and a message from himself, his wife, and on behalf of their neighbors that the team will now play.
Hello, Toronto Mayor John Tory here. I'm so thrilled to be joining you all for this virtual Welcome Home celebration. To the 6 families who will be setting down new roots, I wish you all a future filled with new possibilities and bright opportunities. I have no doubt that with the incredible work and support of the Habitat for Humanity GTA team, you will be supported in every sense of the word as you embark on this new chapter. And to the Habitat for Humanity volunteers and staff team, I cannot thank you enough for all of your tireless and selfless work as always. This is just another in a great string of successes. Barb and I were so pleased to have a fundraiser for this very project, and it was our pleasure to host dozens of very generous people who joined you in making this Georgina project a big success. So I want to share my gratitude for the generosity of the donors, the ones that came to our place and many others who contributed to this. Thank you for your contributions. Families, including all of those we're commemorating today, can start anew, and that's something that's really, really important. With that, have a wonderful celebration. I wish you all the success as you embark on this new chapter, and I look forward perhaps to coming for a visit someday if it suits you. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. And corporate, again, we're so fortunate at Habitat with all the different kind of partners. And among that group, many businesses come forward and partner, some specifically with Habitat GTA, and some have much larger partnerships with many habitats across Canada and sometimes North America. So the next partner is Galen Duncan, who is the country operating officer for Bank of America Merrill Lynch. And a partnership that has been part of supporting this build, but also, as you can imagine, based on the name of the organization, a very significant partner much more broadly with Habitat for Humanity in North America. Galen, unfortunately, we also missed the timing of the scheduling, and so he has also done a recording that the team will play now with his remarks and congratulations.
Good morning. My name is Galen Duncan, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Bank of America here in Canada. First off, I hope you and your families are staying safe as we continue to navigate living life through a global pandemic. I couldn't be more excited as part of today's festivities to help welcome the 6 families to their new Habitat home here on Dalton Road in Georgina, Ontario. A few weeks ago, our local staff had a virtual learning event with the Habitat GTA team, and we had the privilege of meeting Rashida, who's one of the 6 families who now call Dalton Road home. It was inspirational to hear her story firsthand. Bank of America has a long history of involvement with Habitat Humanity in the US and many other jurisdictions, including here in Canada and the GTA chapter. Part of our culture here at Bank of America focuses on the importance of giving back in the communities we operate, and here in Toronto we could have no better partner than Habitat GTA. In the past, we've been very active in their corporate build days, and our employees are very excited about the prospects of being able to participate again in person sometime soon. Building on this great base, our senior leaders have been working with both Habitat Canada and the GTA chapter to identify other areas of needs and ways we can strengthen our local partnership. It has never been harder for families to access affordable housing, and Bank of America stands with Habitat in their belief that everyone should have a safe and decent place to live. I'm proud to say we're able to provide assistance to support this great initiative here in Georgina, and even more excited to know that 6 amazing families have a new place to call home. Thanks again to Habitat GTA and their amazing team. And on behalf of Bank of America's leadership team, I want to extend a warm welcome to each of the 6 families. Good luck and stay safe.
Thank you so much, Galen. And as we've referenced, we all recognize Habitat for Humanity as one big movement globally, of which Habitat GTA is a part. We're really pleased to have Julia Deans with us today. Julia is the CEO for Habitat for Humanity Canada, overseeing the 50 or so habitats across this nation. And Julia, I'll turn it over to you for your remarks.
Oh, thanks so much, Jean, and to all the families for including me here today. I'm really pleased. My sister Diana is one of the neighbors John Torrey referred to, and I know she's really excited about having such wonderful neighbors in the community. And thank you to Adam Vaughn for being here as well. I come to you from the same territory as Adam, as I am a constituent in Spadina, Fort York. But I'm here today on behalf of all of our staff and volunteers and the more than 4,000 families we have partnered with across Canada since 1985 in wishing you much success and congratulations as you move into your new homes. As Canada's only national affordable homeownership provider, Habitat Canada and our 50 habitats across Canada partner with homeowners like you, volunteers, donors, and governments to help families living with low income build strength, stability, and independence through housing. We know that housing is so much more than bricks and mortar. And at Habitat, we see beyond the build to how housing transforms people's futures, strengthens communities, and fosters the resilience and stability that mean positive social and economic outcomes for all of us. This horrible pandemic has made us all really aware that housing matters so much for every social determinant of health. It's our shelter, our place to play, work, be healthy, be secure, be stable. So the investments in this project and others like it are going to help these 6 families, but so many other families build bright futures for themselves and their kids. Our partnership with the Government of Canada through the CMHC National Housing Co-Investment Fund is allowing us at Habitat to do even more to build those bright futures. And we are using the almost $36 million in forgivable loans that they've given us to create more than 400 new affordable homes. So I want to thank Parliamentary Secretary Adam Vaughn and Minister Hussein again for their commitment to working with Habitat to tackle Canada's housing crisis. Finally, huge kudos to Habitat for Humanity GTA for completing this amazing project. I know there was a tremendous effort involved in this Habitat build, and we are so proud to have leaders and friends like Ina Underwood as part of our Habitat family. So thank you all again, and many congratulations.
Thanks so much, Julia. And it's so critical to us to have people that help fund, governments to help support, but someone's actually got to build these homes and know how to build these homes. And it's great. I think many of you are noticing we have some of the crew leaders and volunteers on the screen today who have been part of building this, and really appreciative that we have Dorindo Gravina, who oversaw, who was a site supervisor here, who does know how to build homes and has overseen the construction of these beautiful homes. Dorindo, over to you.
Thank you. I want to start off by saying that I'm grateful for the opportunity and the job that I have. We all great pleasure with the families. We get to see them. We get to move them into their houses. I think those of us on the site probably get the greatest satisfaction because we get to meet them, to know them, deal with all their problems, be on call all times of the day and night. But this is a great area. I was really excited for the families. I keep telling them, you know, you're so lucky to be living up here, so close to the lake, so many beautiful amenities. I have a long history here myself. I lived in college in Montrose when I was a kid. We had property up here, and all my aunts and uncles and cousins would come up here and plant a garden. So I got very fond memories. It's a long commute, but it's a great place. And I just keep telling the families how lucky they are and how lucky we are to, you know, be able to see them and to make them happy. I want to start off by thanking some important volunteers, some important people out here. You know, we didn't know if we were going to be able to work with the pandemic and everything that was going on. I didn't know who would be willing actually to come out here, and in spite of everything that was happening. But I did have volunteers that just came out constantly, just would not give up. I'd like to just mention their names. From in the area, we had Jim Kirk, Nancy Constable, Rob, Dennis Alabon, Lou Crone, and Christine Lemieux. They were here right up to the last minute, and including yesterday. They'll be back tomorrow to help me with the landscaping. They were from Sutton, from Stouffville. They came this way. I got people that came up from Brampton, Steve Majernik and Mario Finoro. They worked throughout our shutdown, building bulkheads, getting work done. I kept supplying them with materials. They just didn't want to stop. From Brampton, I had Clayton Smith, Rick Aikman, Fernando Del Bono, Gord Anderson, Newman, came all the way up from Brampton. I mean, that's a heck of a long drive. From Toronto, I had Tim and Crystal Bermel, Corinne Carbone, and Dick Combier, again, all the way from Toronto. So, things get done, people really believe in what we do, and they're willing to drive a long, long distance to get here and give up a lot of their time. So none of this gets done without them. I'm so very grateful for them. And again, I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I have to make, people's dreams come true, and to help these families and to help these kids do the things that, they're going to need to do with their lives. And a good home is a great way to start. Thank you.
Dorindo, thanks so much for your comments. And I'm actually going to suggest that we go off script for a second. I'm going to ask everyone to turn your mics off mute. And I want us on 3 to give a big round of applause and a big thank you to the volunteers who, as Dorindo said, worked under really unique conditions to build these homes. So I'm looking to see if everybody's got their mics, take them off mute, unmute your mics. Unmute. Nancy, we're going to cheer for you. Adam's got his mic unmuted. Perfect. So on 3, a thank you, volunteers, and a big applause. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, volunteers.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Fantastic. And Dorindo, thank you for rhyming off the many names behind. When we hear those numbers of 474 volunteers, there are some who are the above and beyond group. And so it's great to have many of you here today and to be able to recognize you. Now I'll say go back on mute, except for the Mahia family. And I apologize, I was going too quickly in the introductions at the start. And I didn't give the Mahia family a chance to introduce themselves. So I'm going to ask you to do that now. And then my understanding is the Mahia family has actually put together a video, which will give all of us a bit of a virtual tour of their new home. So over to the Mahia family.
Hello, everyone. We are the Mejia family. My name is Fatima. My husband, Jose. Hello. Our oldest daughter, Hadassah, and our twins, Eusiel and Elio. And we are so happy to be with you today and celebrating to get our home. And we want to thank everyone, and especially Habitat for Humanity, the volunteers, and everyone. We are so happy to have this opportunity, and we feel so blessed. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Hadassah, and I want to show you my new home. This is my mom's kitchen where she cooks. This is our dining room, and we are waiting for a dining table. This is our living room. And this is our backyard that I'm waiting
Mejia family, welcome everyone to our new home.
Hi everyone, we are the Mejia family and we are so happy to present our new home. And thank you so much, Habitat for Humanity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic tour. Thank you so much. And I love the little hanger you had on your door, on the outside of your door. And I see the note here, Kaylin and marketing communication team, that Hussein made a video of their home as well. There's a link here in the chat. I'm not sure if it's Radima or Hassan who's coordinating. Are we able to play that video? I think we have time.
We can work on it here and maybe play it at the end.
Okay, so that would be great if you folks can work on that. Now, Greer, we've heard you mention several times. We've been watching you on our screen together with your daughters, and it's been wonderful hearing from all the families. Greer has agreed to provide some overall remarks from her situation and on behalf of the overall group. So, Greer, over to you.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. It's my honor to speak today and echo some of the many great thoughts that have been brought forward today. I'm going to try and intermingle as much as I can. It was amazing, Valerie, the day you guys came over. I just want to make reference to that. I thought it was maybe for another home inspection. So I was so surprised when I opened the door to see Mayor Quirk standing there. And then it really was a joyous time and it was a wonderful visit. And so thank you for bringing that up. Let me just start by introducing ourselves. So I did mention my name is Greer Atkinson. I'm going to let my youngest introduce herself first. And so go ahead with what.
Hi, I'm Phoebe, and I'm 10 years old. I'm going into grade 10.
Grade 10?
I'm in grade 6. And what I like about this house is that I still get to go to the same school, and it's much more prettier than our old house.
Awesome. Okay, and then I'll introduce my middle child. This is Denise Charles, and so go ahead.
Hi, my name is Denise. I'm going into grade 7. What I like most about this house is our kitchen because it looks nice, and the living room because I really like the way my mom put it up.
Awesome. Age. She did. She's 11. Denise is almost 12. So with that being said, actually I was going to save their little bits for the end with what would they like, but I'm going to actually echo what Denise says. I really love the kitchen too, actually. We come from an old house. It was a century home. And actually the century home was really beautiful, but it wasn't really well maintained. And so there were a number of issues with it. I thought it was really cute though. My youngest had kind of said as we were leading up to the days where the actual exciting move was going to take place, she said, I think this house will miss us. And I think it will too. It was an old home and it really had a wonderful feel about it. But it did come with a whole host of issues. I have noticed amongst almost all of us that we all, especially my eldest and I, had a lot of runny nose issues that have seemed to have cleared up since we've been here. So probably some underlying mold, but we also had a lot of battles with pests. And I think I've mentioned before, the Century Home is owned by a corporation that owns seniors' homes. And so we actually had a really upfront, close and personal view of how the pandemic hit the Sutton home. We were right next to it. But what I want to get to is that our whole yard, our backyard was a parking lot. And so sometimes even I had to fight for my own space there. And it's really nice to be able to know I'm not going to have to fight for any parking. And we're in this really, really, really lovely home. It was really nice to see your home, Jose and Fatima, and to meet your kids. It looks exactly like ours, yeah. Although we've transposed the living room a bit. So I do want to share a little bit about our story, and I do want to acknowledge that every family here has a story that brought them to this place. And I'll be interested to learn of those stories as we come into it. My story isn't, Adam, actually, you had a very moving story, Adam. And I'm afraid mine is not as moving as all that, but I am a single mom. And I was very fortunate in that I come from a very supportive community. So I actually was living on territory on Chippewas of Georgina Island. I moved back to Georgina Island when I gave birth to my first daughter. I had an amazing, fantastic, wonderful career with one of the big banks. It was very fast paced and I was moving up rather quickly. But I came home for the year of mat leave, and my community asked me to consider coming home to work for the community. And I accepted because to me, the thought of jumping on a subway for 45 minutes to hold on a really competitive, high-paced job and then come home, it didn't really seem as conducive to me as family and being there for my daughter. So I packed up and I moved home, and I took a role with the Chippewas of Georgina Island and began working in Indigenous education. And that's been very rewarding. We welcomed 2 more daughters, and so 3 kids altogether. And then, unfortunately, our relationship didn't make it. And so on Georgina Island, we are fortunate enough to have a school, a small school, and that's a wonderful school, but it only goes to grade 5. And after grade 5, children from Georgina Island must transition into the provincial schools here. And so for us, I could have sent my child across the lake every day. What we tend to do is we tend to board our children during the harder parts of crossing, and actually climate change is very evident to us because how the lake behaves and how crossing that lake is affected through all times of the year. And so I made the decision to leave the home. I was living in our family home. It was a cedar log home that had been built by my grandparents in the late 60s. And I immigrated really into Ontario, into the town of Sutton. With every intention to purchase a home, but found that even though I make a decent income, single families is very difficult to obtain a mortgage, as a single person. And, it was so surprising to me that even up in the north in Georgina, prices are so high, and they were out of my reach. Habitat around that time had been reaching out to the Chippewas of Georgina Island. And so Chief and Council and lead administration were very aware of this build happening and did a lot to encourage me to apply. I was probably one of the many people out there who think they won't qualify for a Habitat for Humanity home for whatever reason. But they really encouraged me and really would not let up. And so I did go through the application process and happily here we are. And so I did mention we were coming from a bigger home, and I was grateful to take part in the build. I saw Jose there quite a bit, so got to know him. But I want to stop here and touch a little bit on that volunteer experience. What a great thing. I remember at the groundbreaking, I talked about really looking forward to that volunteer experience, and I really did enjoy it. It did become tricky during the pandemic to get in there. And I really had a lot of fun actually in the restore. And I really ended up liking that whole crew and really came to see how critical, I think Dorindo made mention of some of the main volunteers. There are some people that are hardcore volunteers for Habitat that are wonderful, amazing people, and they're the backbone of this entire organization. And, it's my pleasure to come to know them and work with them. So much so that I look forward to continuing to volunteer, because what a great thing to do with your time, and so many great people to run into. And so I did want to stop and make mention of that. I was afraid moving out of the big house though, as we were constructing this house, that it looked small, but you know what? It's perfect. It's funny how, once you get all your stuff in and you're here, it's the perfect size. Like I mentioned earlier, my one daughter mentioned the kitchen. I love the kitchen. It's great. My old kitchen was an old farmhouse, and it felt like I was carrying things from left to right to center, but here it's so easy. I'm surprised that I love the kitchen, but I do. So for me, the girls mentioned that they're happy that they're able to stay in their school, and they really love how beautiful. Me too. I really love that it's a perfect size. I'm not even sure I want to paint the walls. It's so bright and airy. I'll probably keep it the white for a little while before we pick our colors. But I also want to say that for me, it really, as a single parent, even if you're doing okay and you have a good job, you really miss out financially on a lot of stuff because it's just you're the sole income. And having this home has put me in a so much more financial secure position into the future. It really impacts you on so many levels. And so I am so incredibly grateful, as I'm sure the rest of the families are, just to be here. There's a lot of pride in home ownership and a lot of great things that come to you as an individual. I don't want to take up too much time because I know we have a couple things to get to, but I really want to thank Habitat for Humanity for all of your support. You know, for the folks that are working in family support, you're awesome. You know, no matter what the question, no matter what the time, the support given by Habitat for Humanity was incredible, even by the Restore and all of the other volunteers. Dorindo, you're awesome. I had the opportunity to introduce him to my boyfriend, and I really couldn't say more. It really takes a special person to be able to oversee the building of a home with primarily volunteers. Like, you know, you got to be able to think on your feet. You have to have the right personality. You got to know what you're doing. So, so much kudos to you, Dorindo. You've done an amazing. You and all of the other fantastic volunteers have done an amazing job here. So all of the construction team, but also just want to echo to everybody the thanks for all of the support that Habitat, you know, sort of brings to the table, all of the corporate sponsorship that you know, contribute, all of the big family contributors, and all of the government partners. You know, the number of people that have helped to bring me and my family and the rest of the families into this complex is enormous, and I think our gratitude is just as enormous for all of those people who've helped us get here. So a big Gichimiigwech, which in the Ojibwe language is a huge thank you. So Gichimiigwech from my family to yours. Yeah. Awesome.
Greer and your daughters, thank you so much. You know, thank you to everyone who has shared so openly and personally today about what this has meant to you, to the families, to the comments, Adam, the story you shared, Dorindo, your comments about the experience on the build site, to everyone that's talked about how much this has meant. As you saw in the chat, we have another video. We're realizing for time purposes, we will send the video out after this and really encourage everyone to watch what Hussein has put together, showing you the tour of another home here in the Dalton community. And I think this conversation we've had today, it does reinforce, it does take a lot of people to do what we do, but the impact is huge and we can do it together. And this is so testament to what we can do. We're shortly going to close off with our traditional Habitat cheer that says we can do it. But before doing so, I just want to remind you of what's next for us at Habitat GTA, because again, the things that all of you have shared as families about why this matters so much, it is critical that we keep working on this. People, I think, are aware the pandemic caused the challenge for working lower income families to have the stability of home. It made the challenge even greater. There was a 38% increase in home prices across Canada over this last year. This is harder than ever. It's more important than ever. So for us at Habitat GTA, we've just broken ground on a 50-unit townhome build in Oshawa that we're really excited about in Oshawa. We have a 20-unit development in the city of Toronto that we'll be starting on in the fall. We have a 12-unit in the city of Brampton. We have a number of developer partnerships that will help us deliver more turnkey units that developers are building. So we have lots of possibility now unleashed. And this partnership that has been so instrumental to create this beautiful moment today is what will enable us to do it again for more families like the 6 of you and your families. So in the spirit of celebrating you and in the spirit of celebrating what is possible next, we're going to do our Oh Yay Cheer. Most people have been through this routine before. I know it feels a little bit awkward to do it virtually, but we have done it before virtually and we'll do it again. So first of all, a reminder, we have this made up at Habitat Cheer where we use this word, oh yay, which we have decided means we can do it because it's such a testament to how the Habitat model works. We're all going to take our screen, turn our screens off mute. So turn it so we can hear you. We're all going to take a minute to stand up, even though it feels awkward and people are watching us, and we're going to do what I'm doing and adjust our camera so you can still see our face. And I'm counting on the kids to be very loud on this because adults are especially younger kids. If you're younger than 12, we know that you can yell louder than the awkward adults and awkward teenagers. And so, good job. Who is not? Dorindo, your mic is still on mute. You've done this many times. There you go. Okay, who else can I police here of who has their mic on mute? Okay, it looks like we're in pretty good shape here. Okay, and so our Habitat cheer starts with what matters most. Habitat partner families. And sorry, for people that don't know, we then do a fist pump like this, and we say, oh, yay. Oh, and it's telling me my internet connection's unstable, but hopefully we'll get through it. Habitat partner families.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Habitat volunteers.
Oh,
you're doing awesome. The kids are great. Habitat volunteers. No, we did volunteers. Habitat community partners. Oh, yay. And last and most importantly, Habitat New Dalton community. Oh, yay. Fantastic job, everyone, on your virtual oh yay. Thank you all for being part of this moment. To all 6 of the families, I personally am looking forward to seeing you this evening and congratulating you in person. And from all of us that are involved, whether we can be in person or we're just thinking of you virtually, you have our heartfelt congratulations for the place you have brought your families to, and our heartfelt best wishes for all that lies ahead. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone.
Thank you. Congratulations.